Hello students, already we have started solution topic for the competitive purpose, and in the last session we have discussed up to colligative properties, that is up to osmotic pressure. In this session we will discuss isotonic solutions, abnormal molar masses, and Vent off factor, and then the degree of dissociation alpha value. Okay, the first one is we will discuss isotonic solution. Isotonic solution. What do you mean by isotonic solution here? Already we know what is osmotic pressure. The two solutions which are having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature are called as isotonic solutions. Means if I take two solutions, they must have same osmotic pressure. Such solutions are called as what? Isotonic with each other. So for isotonic solution, the condition is osmotic pressure of the solution 1 must be equal to the osmotic pressure of the solution 2 here. It means that phi 1 is equal to phi 2. Since phi 1 is equal to phi 2, these two solution must have same concentration. C1 must be equal to what? C2. C1 and C2 are what in terms of osmotic pressure? That osmotic pressure is directly proportional to the molarity, we know that one. So this concentration term is nothing but molarity here. Molarity of this solution must be equal to the molarity of this solution. Then those are called as what? Isotonic solutions here. So this, for this solution 1, this molarity is written as what here? Number of moles of solute that are present in the 1 liter of the solution. Number of moles of solute of solution 1 divided by volume of the solution in the liter it is. So for solution 2, number of moles of solute divided by volume of the solution in the liter. V2 is the volume of this second solution, and V1 is volume of this solution here. And number of moles can be written as mass by molar mass, W1 by M1 divided by V1 as it is. So this also it can be written as W2 by M2 divided by V2 it is. So this is the important condition for the isotonic solution. Sometimes the problems will be asked on this one. Then these relations are very helpful to solve the problems. One thing you keep in mind, for isotonic solution, the concentration must be same. And already we know that osmosis takes place whenever there is a difference in the concentration between two solutions. The movement of solvent molecule takes place from lower to the higher concentration, diluted solution to the concentrated solution, or pure solvent to the diluted solution, like that it is. Now if I take two isotonic solutions which are separated by a semi-permeable membrane like this. Suppose if I put a semi-permeable membrane here like this, okay, so this will be your semi-permeable membrane, and I will write it as SPM. Solution 1 phi 1, solution 2 phi 2, both are having same osmotic pressure. There is no difference between the concentration of the solution. That's why what happens here, there is no movement of solvent molecule across the semi-permeable membrane, and there is no osmosis here. So this is what in case of isotonic solution here. Okay, now suppose here two types of solutions are there in case of isotonic. Suppose if I take phi with respect to the osmotic pressure, there are two types. One will be hypertonic solution. One will be hypertonic solution, and another will be hypotonic solution. With respect to osmotic pressure, there are two types of solution, that is one is hypertonic, hypotonic. The solution having higher osmotic pressure with respect to other solution, that is called as hypertonic solution, and the solution having lower osmotic pressure with respect to other solution, that is called as what? Hypotonic solution. Okay, whenever, see here, hypertonic solution means it is having higher osmotic pressure with respect to other solution. Its osmotic pressure is high means it must have higher concentration, its molarity also higher. If you take hypotonic solution, its osmotic pressure is less as compared to other solution, so that its concentration must be what? Low here. So these two solutions are having a difference in their concentration. Whenever these two are separated by semi-permeable membrane, there is a movement of solvent molecules, that is from the lower concentration to the higher concentration, lower osmotic pressure to the higher osmotic pressure. So whenever hyper and hypotonic solutions are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, suppose if I take this as your semi-permeable membrane, which is separating the two solution here. This one I will call it as semi permeable membrane, and this side we take hypotonic solution and this side we take hypertonic solution. For hypo, osmotic pressure is low, and for hyper, osmotic pressure is high, more concentration, and this is having less concentration. So the movement of solvent molecule always takes place from what? Lower concentration to the higher concentration. So this is very important, you have to keep in mind. In the CET or in the competitive exam, they will ask from which solution to which solution the movement of solvent molecule takes place. That is hypo to hyper. This is in case of osmosis it is. If an external pressure is applied on the hypertonic solution, what happens here? What happens? The movement of solvent molecule slowly decreases, and at particular external pressure it stops here. Again the external pressure is increased. Then what happens? The movement of solvent molecule takes place from hyper to the hypo here. If a pressure, an external pressure which is greater than osmotic pressure is applied, then the movement of solvent molecule takes place from hyper to hypo. Reverse you have to write here. So in this way also they can ask the questions here. So the next point is, we will write example for hypo and hyper. Example here, this is very important example, that is 0.91% of NaCl solution is isotonic with blood. It is isotonic with blood means what happens? The 0.91% of NaCl solution is isotonic with the blood means the concentration of 0.91% of NaCl solution is similar to that of, is equal to that of the concentration of the fluids that are present in the blood here. The fluids that are present in the blood and the 0.91% of NaCl, both concentration are equal. Isotonic means what? The condition for isotonic solution is concentration must be equal. Then only they are called as what? Isotonic here. Since this is isotonic with the fluids that are present in the blood, and it is safe to inject into the blood here. Only isotonic solutions are safe to inject into the that body, because it must be, whatever the solution you are going to inject into our body, that must be isotonic with the fluids that are present in the blood here, and this is isotonic here. And now this 0.91% of NaCl solution, it is called as normal saline water. This is very important. Normal saline water. Now we will see what happens whenever the concentration of NaCl is changed with respect to the fluids that are present in the blood cell. Now you see here, suppose this is your blood cell, you take this is your blood cell. Whenever the blood cells are kept in a solution which is having concentration more than 0.91% of NaCl. Only 0.91% of NaCl is isotonic with the fluids that are present in the blood. If the concentration of NaCl is more than 0.91%, then the concentration of NaCl is more as compared to the fluids that are present in the blood. Then what happens? This solution concentration is more means its osmotic pressure also more, hence it acts as hypertonic solution with respect to the blood. This is being hypertonic, its osmotic pressure will be more as compared to blood. Then what happens? The movement of solvent molecules that takes place out of the blood cell here. Whenever the movement of solvent molecule takes place out of the blood cell, then what happens? It is called as exoosmosis. Exo means the water molecules are moving out of the blood cell here. Exoosmosis we call it as, and exoosmosis takes place. Whenever exoosmosis takes place, the blood cells, they will shrink here. Blood cells will shrink here, because always the movement of solvent molecule takes place from what? Lower concentration to the higher concentration. Here the concentration is higher outside the blood cell here. That's why water molecules are moving out of the blood cell. Suppose, now what happens here? If I change the concentration of NaCl such that the concentration of NaCl is less than the concentration of the fluids that are present in the blood. Now we will take this one. These are the blood cells. This is the blood cell which is kept in a solution having concentration less than 0.91 percentage of NaCl. Exactly 0.91% of NaCl is isotonic with a blood cell. That is, the concentration of 0.91% of NaCl is equal to the concentration of the fluids that are present in the blood cell. If you change the concentration, it acts as hyper as well as hypo with respect to the concentration here. Now it is less than 0.91% of NaCl. Concentration of NaCl solution is less than the concentration of the fluids that are present in the blood cell. Now what happens? This solution, it acts as hypotonic because its concentration is less. Hypotonic solution means its osmotic pressure will be also less here. Then what happens? Movement of water molecules that takes place into the blood cell now. Then always water molecules, they will pass through the membrane from the lower concentration to the higher concentration. Whenever the water molecules or solvent molecules, they will enter into the blood cell, what happens? The blood cell will swell here. That the movement of water molecules into the blood cell, that is called as what? Endoosmosis. Endo means water molecules are coming inside here. Endoosmosis takes place. Then these blood cells, they will start swelling and ultimately they will burst here. Ultimately they will burst. And this swelling of blood cell is called as edema, we call it as. This is called as what? Edema. Okay, this is about isotonic solutions. Okay, here just you have to remember which is hypo, hyper, that is lower to higher concentration, lower concentration less osmotic pressure, higher concentration high osmotic pressure. Based on that, just you move your solvent molecules across the semi-permeable membrane here. Okay, the next point. So the next important concept is abnormal molar mass, which is very important for solving problems. Abnormal molar mass. Okay, so here already we know that these colligative properties are directly proportional to the number of particles irrespective of their nature, and they are inversely proportional to the molar mass of the solute. M2 is molar mass of the solute here, and this colligative property, it is used to calculate the molar mass of the solute. This molar mass of solute calculated by using colligative property will be correct only when the added solute do not undergo dissociation or association. If the added solute undergo dissociation or association, the number of particle changes, colligative property value changes, then molar mass of the solute also changes here. So whenever the molar mass is calculated by using colligative property, the solute should not undergo dissociation or association, then only the molar mass value will be correct, whatever you are calculating here. Suppose the solute is undergoing dissociation or association, what happens here? For example, number of particles changes here. Here number of particles, that depends on the dissociation or association of the solute particle. Whenever the added solute particle undergo dissociation or association, number of particle changes here. So if the added solute particle undergo dissociation or association, what happens here? If solute undergo dissociation, for example, if KCl is added to the water, it will split into what? K plus and Cl minus. Here it is only one particle. Now after splitting, it becomes as what? Two particle, one K plus and one Cl minus. So the number of particle is increased here. If solute undergo dissociation, number of particle increases. As the number of particle increases, we know that colligative property value increases because these two are directly proportional. As the colligative property value increases, molar mass of the solute, what happens? Decreases. Molar mass of the solute decreases. Suppose if the added solute undergo association, for example, if I take 2 moles of acetic acid, whenever it is added to the benzene, it undergo dimerization. Dimerization is nothing but every 2 molecules of acetic acid, they combine together to form only one molecule like this. This is CH3 COO, twice I will take. So this is only one molecule and this is 2 molecule because it undergo dimerization due to the formation of hydrogen bonding. Like if I write CH3 C double bond O OH, and this is your another acetic acid molecule. This is a C double bond O, this will be OH, so that there is a hydrogen bonding between the two molecules of acetic acid whenever it is added to the benzene. So two molecules of acetic acid become as what? Only one molecule, so that number of particle decreases. So this is two molecule and this become as one molecule. Every two molecule become as one molecule, 1 mole of molecules become as what? Half mole. Number of particle decreases here. So number of particle decreases. As the number of particle decreases, colligative property value also decreases. Colligative property value decreases means molar mass of the solute calculated, that will increase here. So for a solute which undergo dissociation or association, the molar mass of the solute that is calculated by using colligative property will be either lower or higher than the expected value. Such molar mass of the solute is called as what? Abnormal molar masses. For a solute which undergo dissociation or association, what happens? The molar mass of the solute calculated by using colligative property will be either higher or lower than the expected value. You will not get the correct value because solute is undergoing dissociation or association, number of particle is changing, colligative property value changes, molar mass of the solute also changes. That is why such molar mass of the solutes which are obtained, those are called as what? Abnormal molar masses. So in order to account for the abnormal behavior of this solute, that is for dissociation or association, we are introducing a new term that is called as Van 't Hoff factor, which account for the abnormal behavior of this solute particle here, so that it accounts for the dissociation or association. We will see that one. So now we will discuss Van 't Hoff factor. Accounts for dissociation or association of solute particle. Okay. Now this Van 't Hoff factor, it is indicated by a letter I. This Van 't Hoff factor is equal to number of particles after dissociation or association. Number of particle after dissociation or association divided by number of particle before dissociation or association. Or association it is. So this is the formula to calculate Van 't Hoff factor. So in short I will write it as I will be is equal to number of particle after dissociation or association divided by before dissociation or association. This will be is equal to, after dissociation what happens? Colligative property value will change. That will be that observed colligative property will be different than the calculated colligative property. So that will be is equal to observed colligative property divided by calculated colligative property. This is equal to, observed colligative property is called as what? Abnormal colligative property, because number of particle is changing here. So abnormal colligative property divided by normal colligative property. Normal is calculated, normal colligative property. already we know that this colligative property is inversely proportional to the molar mass of solute. So inversely proportional means what you can write here, normal molar mass divided by abnormal molar mass. Normal molar mass, that is M2, will write normal M2 divided by abnormal M2. So this is a different formula for the Van 't Hoff factor, that is in terms of number of particle, colligative property in terms of molar mass it is. Now I will write some example. KCl, after adding to the water it will split into K plus and Cl minus. So after dissociation it becomes as what, 2 particle. Before dissociation it is only 1 particle. 1 plus 1 is what, 2 here. So what is I value for KCl? I value is number of particle after dissociation divided by before dissociation. After is 2, before is 1. So the value is what, 2 here. Suppose if I take barium chloride BaCl2, before dissociation it is only 1. After dissociation it produces 3 ions, that is one is Ba plus 2 ion plus 2 times of Cl minus ion. So after dissociation the number of particle become as what here, 1 plus 2, total 3. 3 particle after dissociation, before it is only 1. So I value for this one is what here, I value is 3 divided by 1, the total value is what, 3 here. Suppose if I take another example, that is I will take K4FeCN6, K4FeCN6. So whenever it is added to the water, what happens here, you will get 4 times of K plus FeCN6 minus 4. Before dissociation it is only 1 particle here. After dissociation what happened here, 4 plus 1, 5 particles are produced, 4 plus 1, total 5. So what is I value for this one, I value is equal to 5 by 1, this will be is equal to what, 5 here. Next example. So next example is, suppose if I add acetic acid CH3COOH, acetic acid is added to the benzene, it undergo what, association. Association is nothing but here every 2 molecules of acetic acid combined together to form 1 molecule of acetic acid, that is nothing but we call it as dimerization. What happens here, CH3COOH twice. Before association the number of particle is 2. After association number of particle become as what, 1 here. So for this one I value is what, after divided by before. Just a hint is after by before. After is 1, before is what, 2. So its value is what, 0.5. For association I value is less than 1 always. For dissociation it is what, greater than 1. So I values will write, if I value is equal to 1, that is non-electrolyte, that is no association or dissociation takes place. No association or dissociation. No dissociation or association. I value is 1. If a solid do not undergo dissociation or association, then for that solute I value is equal to 1. That is for non-electrolyte. If I value is greater than 1, then solute is undergoing what, dissociation. For dissociation I value is greater than 1 always. If I value is less than 1, that solute is undergoing association. For association I value is always less than 1. These are very very important points you have to remember here. Therefore for a solute which undergo dissociation or association, colligative properties they are modified by introducing I value here. What we will write now, therefore we will write one point, therefore for a solute which undergo dissociation or association, colligative properties are modified by introducing I value. By introducing I value is nothing but Van't Hoff factor here. Therefore, what are those colligative properties here? From the beginning we have discussed relative lowering of vapor pressure, elevation in boiling point, depression in the freezing point, and osmotic pressure. All these formulas, they are multiplied with what? I value if the solid is undergoing dissociation or association. Always you keep in mind, for solving problems, first you have to see that whether the solid is undergoing dissociation or association, then carefully you add what? I values here. So, relative lowering of vapor pressure is equal to I value into x2. So, everywhere you have to just multiply I value here. So, elevation in boiling point delta TB is equal to I into KB into molality. Depression in the freezing point, that is the delta TF is equal to I into KF into molality. Osmotic pressure phi is equal to I into CRT. So, all the colligative properties, they are multiplied by what? I value if the solid is undergoing association or dissociation here. Okay. So, these points are very, very important. You have to remember, for a non-electrolyte I value is equal to 1. For a solid which undergo dissociation, greater than 1. For association it is what? Less than 1, which is proved by what? Examples. Okay. The next point. So, the next point is the degree of dissociation or association can be calculated by using a Van't Hoff factor, that is I value. Degree of dissociation or association. Degree of dissociation or association. For dissociation, first one we will write a formula for dissociation. Alpha degree of dissociation is equal to, that is I minus 1 divided by n minus 1 here. I value already we know, that is Van't Hoff factor. N is number of particle formed here, where n is what? Number of particle formed. N is number of particles formed. For example, if I take KCl after dissociation it produces 2 particles, that is K plus and Cl minus. So, 1 become as what? 2 here. 1 plus 1 is what? 2 particle. So, here for KCl n value is equal to what here? 2. Suppose if I take barium chloride, BaCl2 is there, then what happens? This will produce a Ba plus 2 ion plus 2 times of Cl minus ion. Before it is only 1, after dissociation it produces what? Total 3 ions. So, number of particle produced is what here? 3. For BaCl2, n value is 3 here. Like this you have to take n value and I value, already you know this one. So, by using this formula you can calculate what? Alpha value, that is degree of dissociation. Next point is the degree of association, also you can calculate. Second one, for association. For association the formula is alpha is equal to 1 minus I divided by 1 minus 1 by n here. Always you keep in mind, for association I value is less than 1, you take 1 minus I divided by 1 minus 1 by n it is. Okay, where I is the Van't Hoff factor value, n is number of particle associated, here number of particle dissociated. Here it is dissociated into 2 particle, it is dissociated into what? 3 particle here. So, here n value is, n is equal to number of particles dissociated. For example, if every 2 molecule become as 1 molecule, if it undergo dimerization, then n value is equal to 2. For a dimer, n value is equal to 2. For a trimer means every 3 particle become as what? 1 particle, then the value will be 3 here. For a tetramer means every 4 particle combined together to form what? 1 particle. In such cases n value is taken as what? 4 here. So this is about degree of dissociation and association.